Hi, today I'm going to talk about the 18 laws of human nature. They're a set of psychological principles outlined by Robert Greene that describes the recurring pattern of human behavior. My name is Vera, the voice behind the spoken soul trails. Law number 1, the law of irrationality. Law number 2, the law of narcissism. Law number 3, the law of role playing. Law number 4, the law of compulsive behavior. Law number 5, the law of covetousness. Law number 6, the law of short-sightedness. Law number 7, the law of defensiveness. Law number 8, the law of self-sabotage. Law number 9, the law of repression. Law number 10, the law of envy. Law number 11, the law of grandiosity. Law number 12, the law of gender rigidity. Law number 13, the law of aimlessness. Law number 14, the law of conformity. Law number 15, the law of fickleness. Law number 16, the law of aggression. Law number 17, the law of generational myopia. Law number 18, the law of death and denial. So into depth, I'm just going to talk about 6 of them for today and generalize all the 18 laws. They are both important in both self-identification, self-awareness, and interaction with others. So talking about the 6, I'm also going to talk on how to manage them. The first one is the law of irrationality. It is important to know that we are rational beings, often making irrational decisions. Many a times we allow our emotions to cloud our judgment. In such cases, it is important to practice self-awareness. It is important to step back and seek different opinions and give yourself time and see your emotions at play. Because many a times if we act irrationally, we're going to make judgment out of our emotions. And the only way we can manage this is when we step back, be self-aware of ourselves, seek different opinions, and give ourselves time and see our emotions at play. And so the second law I'm going to talk about is the law of narcissism. It is important to acknowledge that all of us have a degree of narcissism in us. Narcissism is an extreme focus in oneself to the extent of ignoring the needs of others. Narcissism can start from childhood if a child doesn't find a certain kind of validation, or they feel neglected, or they develop a sense of self-worth. They can also develop a mirror effect where they feel obsessed by how they are perceived by others or how their image are carried or understood. There are 4 types of narcissists. The first one is theoretical narcissists. They seek constant attention and validation, and they are complete control ones. There's the passive aggressive narcissists. They express self-love through manipulation and control. And then there's royal narcissists. They believe they're superior and entitled to special treatment. And then there's now the healthy narcissists. They possess a balance of self-worth and empathy for others. The ability to recognize narcissistic trait in others can help you manage interaction and navigate without falling into their manipulation. It is also important to practice self-reflection to ensure you go beyond self-gratification. Narcissists don't accept their wrong, and in that case, navigation is more important than confrontation when dealing with a narcissist. Also practice self-awareness, that you make sure you don't become overly defensive or feeling excessively hurt by criticism. Take a step back and ask yourself, is this the narcissistic trait speaking in me? Is it the narcissism or any degree of narcissism speaking in me anytime that you feel you are ignoring the needs of others? The third law is a law of compulsive behavior. It is also important to recognize that our repetitive actions shape our behavior, starting from childhood dealing with trauma, stress, anxiety, and unresolved emotional stress. These ones can depict themselves in different ways by need for control, perfectionism, approval seeking, and addictive behaviors. It is important to practice mindfulness, emotional regulation, breaking the cycle, and seeking professional help. While when used well, it can drive ambition and innovation. The strategies for dealing with covetousness are self-awareness. It is important to practice self-awareness and to recognize and acknowledge that your desires and feelings are what are behind them. Why are you coveting? It is also important to practice self-gratitude, appreciate and focus on what you already have instead of constantly seeking more to redefine your success. Shift your matters from external to internal, what you got within you, what you are capable of doing. It is also important to practice empathy, to recognize and appreciate the possession of others and their successes without feeling envious. The next law I'm going to talk about is the law of short-sightedness. It is human tendency to focus on the immediate gains and short-term thinking. Humans are hardwired to respond to immediate stimuli and rewards. This one can manifest in different ways. Impulsiveness, such as making hasty decisions without thinking, overreaction, like responding immediately, lack of perspective, like failing to see the bigger picture or understanding the broader perspective of the situation, procrastination, delaying immediate task because of immediate comfort. And historically speaking, if we can give example of Napoleon Bonaparte, he was so impulsive and short-sighted. He missed opportunities, damaged relationships, and also personal and professional failures. It can trap a circle of repulsive behavior. To overcome this, it is important to be self-aware of yourself and recognize the tendency. It is also important to be patient and disciplined, to practice delayed gratification. It is also important to look at things in the bigger picture instead of just the immediate part of it, so that you see beyond the immediate situation and consider broader trends and future consequences. Also, strategic planning. It is important to set long-term goals and detailed breakdown of them on how to achieve them in manageable steps. The law of compulsive behavior can help you determine the strength of people and character by recognizing their patterns in behavior. And this also will help you to deal with people. Once you recognize their patterns and behavior, it will help you to deal with others in as much as also you have recognized yourself. The next law is a law of defensiveness. This law focuses on the way people react defensively when they feel threatened or criticized. Naturally, humans respond to guard their self-esteem or ego by defending themselves as a mechanism. They become defensive to protect their vulnerability and insecurities. It is important to be self-aware of your triggers. There are different signs of defensiveness like change of tone, rationalization and regression, body language, and denial. So to deal with this, you can take a deep breath, you can take a pause, you can frame criticism constructively, you can show empathy to yourself, you can use a diplomatic language, you can reevaluate the situation, you can reflect on your own defensive patterns and work on overcoming them. And at work, it can help in understanding and managing employees, resolving disputes, and negotiating with colleagues. Understanding this can also teach us to manage our defensive behaviors and build our relationship generally with others. It is also important to let things slide and revisit them later after your emotions have cooled. The last law is the law of self-sabotage. This law focuses on a pattern where individuals hinder their own goal and well-being. Often, it stems from deep-seated fears and insecurities rooted in early childhood experiences after involving feelings of guilt or unworthiness or fear of success. So it comes in different forms: procrastination, indecisiveness, perfectionism, negative self-talk, lack of confidence, and addictive behavior. So to overcome this, it is very important to practice self-awareness and understand what drives you to self-sabotage behavior, develop a more positive and self-image, and practice self-compassion. Replace negative self-talk with affirmation and constructive thoughts. Set realistic and achievable goals. Break the task into smaller steps and avoid being overwhelmed. Also seek feedback and support. Surround yourselves with people who encourage and motivate you. Embrace challenges and opportunities for growth. Shift your mind from fear and doubt and to confidence and resilience. It is also important to practice mindfulness and to celebrate small victories and achievements. It is also important to change your circumstance by changing your attitude because self-sabotage so often stems from internal factors. So I have just highlighted few laws to talk about, but the 18 laws of human nature are important because they offer a framework for understanding the psychological forces that drive human behavior, helping individuals to develop self-awareness and navigate social dynamics more effectively. By learning these laws, more people can improve their decision making, build stronger relationships, and respond to situations with greater emotional control. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.